guys, I'm Jasmine. Welcome or welcome back. Today I am bringing to you guys another unpopular opinion video. Feel free to check out my playlist. I create a multiple of different types of content over here, from relationship drama advice to product reviews to movie reactions, mukbangs, and so much more. Feel free to check out those playlists, linked down below in the description box. But today I'm going to talk about some unpopular opinions about food that I found on Reddit that I wanted to share my 2 cents on. Feel free to jump in the comments down below and let me know what you guys think about some of these unpopular opinions, whether you agree or disagree. But without further ado, let's jump into the video. Somebody said the crust is the best part of the pizza. I heavily disagree. It's very rare I will eat the crust off of a pizza, if I'm being completely honest with you. There are some places where they do have really good crust, but for the most part, I could not care less about the crust. A lot of people like the stuffed crust, and I do not like that. That may be an unpopular opinion. I do not like stuffed crust pizza at all. If it's got cheese in it, I don't want it. It's just too much. It's just too thick, and for me, it just makes me nauseous. But let me know y'all thoughts. If y'all like stuffed crust pizza, if y'all think the crust is the best part of pizza, for me, this is definitely an unpopular opinion, okay? Someone said Chick-fil-A taking orders at the car window is annoying. I don't really think this is an unpopular opinion. I've been to Chick-fil-A 3 times, and I want to say I've only been through the drive-thru once. And the experience is interesting, mainly because, okay, if you're a person who's not really sociable, it's like there's a person right there talking to me. It almost feels like you're pressured to pick something really quick almost. But I will say it can be helpful if you want advice on something to pick if you're new there.
What would be something that I could get?
Chick-fil-A does that as a way to be more personable. Last year we went to this, I guess it's a fast food restaurant called Portillo's, and they had a similar setup. I don't know if that was like standard or if that was just for the time being, but they had a person taking the orders outside of theirs, and that was our first time going. And again, it just feels like you have to know what you want and feel pressured to just make a decision right away. But at the same time, I know they're naturally going to be standing up there anyways. It just really depends on if you're more of a socially anxious person. I kind of am, but at the same time, I normally will hop on my phone and Google what's on the menu before I even get somewhere. Whether it's fast food, whether it's an actual restaurant, I will always Google. So it just really depends. Tomato soup is inferior to marinara sauce, especially when it comes to grilled cheese. Now, for some reason, I never thought about dipping a grilled cheese sandwich into marinara sauce. But now I kind of want to, because all it reminds me of is where at certain restaurants they have the mozzarella sticks and you dip them into the marinara. That's so brilliant. I recently tried tomato soup and I did not like it because it tasted like liquidy ketchup for some reason to me. I don't know how people be eating tomato soup, to be honest. It just gives me, you're supposed to put this on pasta or something. I don't know why, but that's just the energy it gives me. Maybe I'm just so used to doing tomato sauce and, pasta, but it's just it's not something I would actually choose to naturally eat. They said fast food breakfast isn't good and shouldn't be exclusively sold until 11 a.m. I actually don't mind certain fast food breakfasts. To be honest, the only fast food breakfast I've really had was McDonald's, but I do know that White Castle, Taco Bell, Subway, Wendy's, Burger King, I know that they all have breakfast, but I just never had it before. But I agree that they should sell breakfast items throughout the day. I assume that the breakfast food is good since they still have these menus. I wouldn't think they would have breakfast menu items for years and not get rid of them. They would have to be selling. But let me know in the comments down below, how do you guys feel about fast food breakfast? Do you like it? Do you not like it? What's your favorite place to get it? Or do you prefer to just make breakfast at home if you do eat breakfast? Someone mentioned that they do not like cheese pulls. So I recently, started learning about cheese pulls. Not recently, but within me watching mukbangs over over the years, I ended up realizing what cheese pulls were. And I always thought it was fascinating that a lot of people wanted them or like seeing them. I don't know, it's just so interesting. My thing is, when you actually experience a cheese pull in real life, it's normally a very hot, burning your mouth potentially experience. For me, it can be annoying because it's like,
my food is running away from me as I'm pulling it. I don't like that.
I don't see nothing wrong with it. I just think it can be messy. Burgers should be wider and not taller, which I greatly agree. This is something that I actually appreciate when it comes to Five Guys burgers or Wendy's or Burger King. Well, no, Burger King has more wider burgers, I think, than everybody. And I actually really like that Burger King has wider burgers because whenever I think of taller burgers, I automatically think of the Big Mac. Now, I have not had a Big Mac in years. I think the last time I had a Big Mac, I had to be literally 19 years old, and I'm in my 30s now. And I absolutely loved Big Macs back in the day. But I remember recently, I saw my mom and my aunt, they order Big Macs and stuff every now and then. And I was looking like, it looked like that whole burger is just mostly bread. Because the patty definitely looks like it shrunk. I don't really eat McDonald's. I haven't had McDonald's in over a decade, so I don't really know what the stuff looks like. So whenever I see someone eating it, I'm just like, did they shrink the product? Or am I just bigger? Like, did I just grow up and stuff just looks smaller because I'm older? But I really feel like they shrink the product. The Big Mac is basically a whole bunch of lettuce and bread and with these little slither of meat. I don't know. A lot of times the burgers definitely give tall. It's not enough meat on here. Calzones are way better than pizza. I just think it really depends on the mood you're in. I don't naturally go for a calzone. I know that there are different local pizza places that sell calzones and they are pretty good, but I feel like I have to be in a mood for a calzone, to be honest. I think back in the day when I was much younger, the first time I had a calzone, I believe, was from either Pizza Hut or Domino's. I feel like one of them had calzones in like the early 2000s or something like that. And I actually really did like it. And then they took them off the menu. And I believe it's because not too many people were ordering them. It's like after a period of time, they always recycle certain ideas and concepts and they'll come back to them. Personally, I'm always going to love pizza myself. But it also just depends on what type of person you are, if you would prefer a calzone or a pizza, S'mores are overhyped. I actually agree with this opinion for sure. Whenever we go camping, we always do s'mores. That's just the norm. S'mores have always been very sweet. Even when I was a kid, when I had them, they were always extremely sweet. It was just an overwhelming amount of marshmallow. The chocolate, it was just too much, but I also don't like melted chocolate. I'm very much a person who likes my chocolate to either be fresh out of the fridge or in the freezer. It's very rare for me to like warm sweets. I don't really like s'mores. I also don't really care for marshmallows like that. Let me know in the comments down below if you like s'mores, because I don't. Pizza cut in squares is better. This really just depends on the pizza place. I think that some pizza places, their pizza does taste better if it's cut square than if it's triangle. And I don't know what it is. The crust is a little bit different if it's in a square pan versus a triangle pan. But sometimes, depending on the place, it tastes better if it's triangle or square. They said the soup part of ramen sucks. I actually agree with this. I do not like the broth part of ramen unless I'm sick. That is literally the only time where I actively drink the broth out of the ramen. If I go to a physical ramen restaurant, I potentially will drink the broth. Because sometimes the broth is pretty good at the authentic ramen places. But homemade ramen broth, I'm normally not going to sip that at all. Let me know in the comments down below, do y'all actually drink the ramen broth? Or do you just eat the noodles and whatever you put in it, you eat that and then you just pour the broth out? Let me know, because I never drink the broth unless it's at that unless I'm getting ramen from an authentic ramen restaurant. Somebody says sushi is overrated. Now, so a couple years back, I would have agreed with this statement because so many people would tell me
Sushi's so good.
Sushi. Once I hit 30, my taste buds started changing a bit where I actually, well, I'll say late 20s, my taste buds started changing a bit where I actually started liking sushi. It was definitely something that I had to adjust to, and I also think it does depend on where you get your sushi from, what you dip it in, because don't judge me, but I love when I get to eat sushi at home because I'll just dip it in hot sauce. And people will judge me, and that's okay because it tastes good to me. Personally, I don't like raw sushi though. I like the cooked kind. Now, if you telling me that raw sushi is overrated, I can understand. But the cooked kind, I enjoy that. But let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Do you relate to any of these or do you completely disagree? Let me know your thoughts. If you have any unpopular food opinions as well, feel free to chime in and share them with me. But I'll be seeing you guys again soon. Make sure you check out my other unpopular opinion videos in the playlist, which will be linked on the screen as well as in the description box down below. Stay blessed, stay positive.